Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 311. It is November 1st, 2017. I've got a couple fuzzy co-hosts. You can probably hear Daisy's tags. Come on, Daisy Duke. Come on. Jump up. Jump. You gonna jump? No, you're just gonna sit down there. Okay. I'll show you the fuzzy co-hosts. Here we go. There's Daisy Duke. And over here is Phoebe, being a rug puppy and whining. None the worse for their time spent at the pet spa, kennel, whatever you want to call it, boarding place while we were gone. So yeah, obviously it's been a little bit since you all have seen me. If you're watching over on iTunes, I'm very, very sorry. The episode from 2 weeks ago, part 1 is still uploading, or still compressing, trying to get it small enough so it will upload to iTunes. In the meantime, you can go over to YouTube and see it over there. Last week's episode I did record. You may have seen it over on the Ravelry forums. I did record while we were at the Rock House up in Walden. And the Wi-Fi there was terrible. I mean, it was great if you were just looking at Facebook or perusing Ravelry, that kind of thing. Upload speed, awful. Awful, awful. Like I had the YouTube app running for overnight, so a good 18 hours, and it only ever reached like 11% or something. Come home, it got up to 60%, and then it stopped. So I just, before I hit record on the good camera, I just deleted that old upload and started re-uploading it to YouTube. And why are you shaking, Daisy Duke? Why are you shaking? I know. Daddy's taking a nap and you think instead that I've killed him and buried the body. I know. I haven't. Hubby is taking a nap, but this one, come here. Come on. Come on. Come up here. Come on, Munchkin. This one, the kennel stressed her out a lot. And she basically has not let hubby out of her sight since we got back. And she has been very lovey, just like this. Yeah, because normally you're freaking out about me holding you. Gosh, Daisy Duke. Okay. So they had fun, but once she realized that, oh, Daddy was back, it was like all bets were off. Hi. No, I don't want to look at the camera. No pictures. Oh, there we go. There's a Yoda ear. That is a Yoda ear if I ever saw one. Those are tired ears, Daisy Duke. Oh, there's a goober has decided to grace us with her presence. Anyway. Knitting show, right? How you doing? So you haven't seen me for a couple weeks, and I apologize. As soon as that last week's show is up, I will get it on YouTube. iTunes viewers, I'm very sorry. Go over to the YouTube channel. Watch it over there because I don't know how to get it from there onto my computer and over to... It's just a pain. So if you can, if not, they will be the 2 missing episodes over on iTunes. Hi, Goober. Please don't whine when I stop scratching you. I need coffee. Oh my goodness. So let me give you guys a little, Actually, no, we're 3 minutes in. Let's start with the knitting. So, what I've been working on. I have been working on a couple things. I have one new thing, one old thing, and one finished thing. So let's start with the old thing. That is riding around in my giant bag from Amy, Froggy Monkey. This is the stained glass blanket, take 2. That I am crocheting up out of socks that, oh, there's another end that I didn't trim off. Man, I'm missing those all over. Anyway, I'm crocheting it up out of Socks That Rock, lightweight and medium weight. All of my leftover scraps are going into this, and then the black that I'm edging it with is the Loopy U Solid series in, fetchingly enough, black. It's their fingering weight yarn. That's in 200 yard put-ups. I have finished one skein. I have started another. I have done 42 centers and joined them all on. So at its widest point, it's 7 hexes across. And I think I want to do at least 10. 1, 2, 3, is that 8? That is 8. Never mind, it's 8 hexes across at the widest point. What have I been counting? Anyway, 8 across at its widest point. I think I want to do at least 10 across. I am loving how this is coming out. It's just I mean, it's still like a teeny little lap blanket. I'm going to have to do at least 6 times this to get a decent sized blanket. But I think I talked about this. No, I hadn't joined them on yet, so yay. The pattern is Juggling Hexes by Wendy Harbaugh, which is a free pattern that's available over on Ravelry. I'm using an F hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter hook on, like I said, Socks That Rock from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. They're lightweight and medium weight. And I have a total of 42 centers all joined on. I think my last 4 were this one that's faulty dye, this one that's turquoise, and I forget what this one is. So that is all of the scraps that I have. Obviously, I haven't used all the scraps up, but those are all the colors that I have available to me are now incorporated in the blanket. So I'm going to start over. My mom has said she will bring me all of her Socks That Rock leftovers. So there are all my scraps riding around in a big old 2-gallon Ziploc bag. Thank you, Mom. So I'll keep going, making centers, joining them on as long as I can. Like I said, my parents are going to be coming out to visit at some point in the next couple weeks, I think. And she said she would bring along all of her scraps of Socks That Rock, lightweight and medium weight, so that I have a little more variety. And then another very nice person over on Instagram, which I can't get to my phone because it was completely dead, asked if I wanted her leftover Socks That Rock scraps. And I said, yes, please. So we'll wait and see when those get here. We'll add them to the pile and we'll keep going. So yay, 42 centers. The blanket is currently the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Yay. And I didn't write out my show notes today, so I'm very sorry. I'm going to be clicking and looking behind the camera to what I have. Second thing is riding around in my Stitch by Jessalou Jane hat bag. This went with us elk hunting. This was my backup project for when I finished the other thing that I took. So I started a new pair of socks for hubby. Oh yes. So I'm calling them hubby's hunting socks because I thought it was appropriate. I'm using Socks That Rock lightweight. He doesn't have any socks out of Socks That Rock. I thought that was very weird that I hadn't knit him a pair. And I also thought it was weird. I've only knit him 3 pairs of socks. I started going, really? I swear I've knit him more than that, but I really haven't. I need to remedy that. We've been together almost 5 years now. Well, we've been together more than 5 years, married almost 5 years. And I thought I had knit him a pair of socks every year we were together, but evidently not. So this is going to be Socks That Rock. It's one of their Rock and Sock Club shipments from the last time I was in it. It's called Field and Stream is the colorway. It is the lightweight. The newer put up that has 405 yards. So, oh my gosh, this thing is falling apart from riding around in this bag and the bag getting kicked all over the car. It is this beautiful, it's got, oh, you can really see the blues and greens. You couldn't see it so much on my phone, but blues and greens and all the colors you think of when you think of like a deep forest to me, except there's no brown in this. So he can only see the blues and the greens look brown to him, but I told him the name of the colorway and he goes, perfect. So I'll have him look at it with his Enchroma glasses once they're finished. And I've been having him feel them, go, see how much squishier they are? I'm knitting them up on a US 1, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. So they are zooming, and I'm doing it over 64 stitches. Just to make sure that they fit him. I didn't want to go all the way up to a 2.75, because I think for lightweight, for me, the gauge that I knit at, that's just a little bit too loose. So I cast these on the night before we left to come back. And I knit on the drive back down the mountain, and I got a bit done. So let me hold it up so you can see here. This is what I've finished so far. I did 64 stitches. I did a long tail cast on and a 1x1 rib, and I am down about an inch into the stockinette cuff, and I think I'll do maybe 1 more inch, but I'm going to look and see what the cuffs on his other socks are. All of his other socks I have knit for him, I have done, have I? excuse me, I was just about to say I've done with an afterthought heel, but now that, oh gosh, now that I think of it, I think the zombie socks I knit for him had a heel flap. I'm planning on doing a heel flap for these too, but I want to like knit the cuff just, I think maybe 1 inch longer. So they're just going to be simple stockinette socks. He's not a fancy guy. He wears these when he's cold, and he wore these in layers when he went out hunting. So he had his regular cotton socks, and then he had these as well. Well, not these specifically, but all the wool socks that I had for him. So it was wonderful at the house that we were at because I was able to do laundry, which didn't really make it a vacation for me, but whatever. But I was able to wash all of our hand knits in the washer because I don't hand wash socks. They're superwash for a reason. They go in with our regular laundry. Yes, the colors fade, but if it saves me from losing my mind, I'll do that. And I've even trained hubby to hang them up to dry. Well, we had that wonderful fireplace at the Rock House. So I could flip on the fireplace, put our damp socks hanging over the edge. It looked like I was getting ready for Christmas because we had all these socks hanging off the edge of the mantelpiece, but they were dry in like half an hour. It was fabulous. Because he wanted to hold back one pair of socks while I was washing the other two. I'm like, no, they'll be dry by morning. Don't worry, just take them off the mantelpiece when you come down. Perfect. So those are the 2 things that I finished. I started those, let's see, on October 28th. So yeah, like the day before we came home. And haven't touched them pretty much since we've been home because it's been a whirlwind of birthday stuff. So the twins had their birthday yesterday. They are now 4. Ferocious 4-year-olds. Yeah, they're still twin tyrants. They had their birthday party at preschool. They had cupcakes. They actually went out and did trick-or-treating, like door-to-door trick-or-treating for the first time ever. We usually take them up to like a smaller kids thing that happens up in Old Town. It's called Tiny Tots Trick-or-Treating in Old Town Fort Collins every year. And we decided not to do, well, we couldn't make it up there in time, what with preschool. So we did the door-to-door thing. We just went up and down our street. They made out like bandits. They did a fabulous job of saying trick-or-treat and saying thank you. Didn't really freeze up. So they had fun. It was a lot of fun. But when they were done, after about 45 minutes, they're like, yeah, we're done. Let's go home. So we didn't have to force them to go home. So the other thing that I worked on, let me show you here, is not this. This is one of my Yowza Way-It shawls. It is my, let me get over to the project page so I can tell you about it. I called it over my Ravelry page, 10 is my CoPilot, because the yarn, and of course, podcaster fail. I didn't bring the bag with the rest of the yarn and the tag in it, but it is Into the World, their Pakaku sock, which is their 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. I knit the CoPilot cowl by Dominique Trad, and it's just called CoPilot on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. Knit this up using a US 6, so it's a nice long, here, hold it back, nice long, I'd say it's a good, without stretching, close to 3 foot cowl, infinity scarf, whatever you want to call it. And I love it. I've already worn it. I haven't washed it. The ends are woven in, but it has not been washed and blocked, which the pattern says you don't have to, but I like to just to give it a little more structure. It's curling a little bit. So there's garter stitch sections and then these lovely mesh sections. Make it nice and fun. And along with the colorway, which like I said, it was by Into the World, and the colorway is called Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, which tells you where I got the name from. So David Tennant, 10, he wasn't my first doctor, but he is my favorite doctor. So 10 is my CoPilot. And I love this because you can either wear it as just a big long, it's almost too long on me because let me stand up, you're going to see my polar bear fleece jammy pants, but that's okay. So it's really long, like hangs down to my pelvis, like here are my hips. This is the top of my hips right here. So that's just one long loop. You can double it up and wear it either there or let's see, lengthen one and shorten the other, right, like that, or shorten it up. And this is what I did last night for trick-or-treating, because it was like less than 40 degrees outside, and I tripled it up, and then you have a nice neck warmer. Now, what I had wanted this for, I have 2 more skeins of this colorway. And what I wanted to match is my sock head hat that I actually spun the yarn out of Into the World's fiber. So I did this shortly after we moved from out to Colorado. So I've got this lovely sock head hat, and I also wore this trick-or-treating last night. But I don't know. It kind of goes, but not really. So if I have to, since I have 3, I figure I can do gauntlets, mitts of some kind out of 1. And I can knit myself another, even though I love this hand-spun hat. I love it so, so much. It doesn't really go. I kind of want a set that actually matches. So I've got the 2 other skeins, one for gauntlets and one maybe to make myself another hat. That's kind of what I'm leaning toward. So that's the plan. I started this. So this is obviously my FO of the week. I started it October 9th and I finished it up October 27th. It got a lot of love up at the Rock House. I finished the whole last 2 sections, and when you're going 260 plus stitches around that huge loop, it takes forever. Forever. Ugh. But anyway. Oh well. So there's my FO. So we had old, we have new, we have a finished object. Moving on to various and sundry. I was bad. I was bad. So it was a terrible, for me, it was a terrible week up at the Rock House. The kids were sick. Hubby ended up getting sick toward the end. We didn't get an elk, didn't even see an elk besides a dead one that a mountain lion had killed, in which case we got out of there very, very quickly. I guess a lot of other people didn't really see any either, unless they were able to get permission to go onto private land, which we didn't have. So we were going on state trust. I went out one day. Hubby was going on state trust land and public land and didn't see anything. But it was a long time to be cooped up in one place for me. And it wasn't like always is for moms that go on vacation. Don't Airbnb it if you want a vacation, moms. Don't do that, because you end up doing laundry and cooking and cleaning and doing everything that you do at home anyway. So don't do it. So as a reward, I'm going to turn the camera and show you what I purchased. While we were up there, Stephanie Lotvin, who is Telly Bean Knits over on Ravelry, published a beautiful pattern called the Rainbow Party Cardi. And she partnered up with the Lemonade Shop, who's kind of a local dyer for me. So let me turn this around. So this lovely thing, but I ordered it from the Lemonade Shop in this color. And that looks very, very blue. I hope it doesn't look that way. It's a dark gray, and then pink, yellow, a turquoise. It looks like an olivey green and a purple. And it's just this lovely, lovely open cardigan. There it is, just hanging open. And that I purchased a kit to go with it as well. So when it first came out, like the first 24 hours, Stephanie posted that it would be available for $1 instead of $6. So I jumped on that bandwagon and bought it, and then brought it up to hubby that, hey, do you mind if I order some yarn to make this? Because I got the pattern for $1. And actually, currently, the pattern is 50% off, so you can get for $3 from October 28th through November 4th. Use the coupon code PARTY, so P-A-R-T-Y. So yay! I'm very, very excited. Just love it. And it's a light fingering weight yarn that's coming, so of course this is going to take me forever to knit. I need to finish some sweaters for me. I've got so many that are on the, well, that'll be the 3rd one that's on the go that I need to finish for me. And yeah, I need to do that kind of, sort of, maybe, right? Right. So that is coming, as well as Meliabella. Melissa was very, very kind. She happened to be at Rhinebeck. She goes every year because it's more local to her. And I had been up the whole night before because the kids didn't settle in the first night there. I was like, I saw a picture from the Miss Babs booth of what their Rhinebeck colorway was this year. I was like, ooh, can you get me one on Yowza? So I might do another Weigh It shawl when that comes, unless I think of something better to do with it. And she was sending that out to me yesterday. So thank you, Melissa, for doing that. It might not have been in my hands, but it's good to know that wool is always there for me when I need it, right? Okay, I think I'm going to cut this off so we don't end up with a super long show. And I will see everybody next week. And until then, happy knitting.